Good morning again, guys. Well, this video will probably piss off a lot of people, and I don't care. Uh, it's kind of interesting. For 4 years, all we heard was Russia, Russia, Russia from the parrots over at the mainstream media and the empty suits, like Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and Nancy Pelosi and all this sort of stuff. It's funny because for 4 years we heard about collusion with Russia. And then, of course, we get the moron Potato Joe in the White House. This is how silly it is. I think a lot of Americans, if they knew what was going on, would rather have Vladimir Putin as president than Joe Biden. Because as much as I disagree with the heavy-handedness and everything that Putin uses to run Russia, at least he looks out for Russians first, which is something that nobody can say about Joe Biden, or any Democrat for that matter. Okay, they look out for themselves first. Not that Putin doesn't look out for himself, don't get me wrong there. But Joe's America Last policy, which is kind of what Obama's policy was, lead from behind, is extremely dangerous. Now, there was an interview that was done today. Obviously, Europe is 7-8 hours ahead of us here, so, while it's morning for us, it's evening for them already. But with the Kyrgyzstan foreign minister, okay, and he said the same thing, basically, that Putin said just a couple of days ago, all right? This is the comment, all right? And this is all about this airlift, Afghan refugees, and everything like this. But this is the policy of Russia and Kyrgyzstan. And mind you where Kyrgyzstan is, okay? This is a more, how do you want to put it, Arabic type population, in southern Russia, okay? But this is the foreign minister's comment. He goes, when we talk about sleeper cells, then this is not about the Taliban. The leadership of the Taliban has previously stated more than once that it focused only on the internal agenda and has no plans for expansion outside the country. However, we get into this. Who are these refugees? How can we tell? There may be thousands or even millions. This is Putin, okay? The border is 1,000 kilometers. They will get on everything, a car, even a donkey, and flee across the steppe, okay? We do not want fighters disguised as refugees to turn up in our country. Now, you think somebody in the United States might want to think about that for a second? Okay. Putin advised the FSB, okay, which is their state security agency. I mean, you'd pretty much say it's kind of like a combination of Border Patrol and the FBI kind of together, all right? So someone in there, all right? But Putin's comment there. The cause of this refugee crisis is the destabilization of entire regions of the world. First of all, in the Middle East, okay? He then went on to order officials to safely close the territory of Russia from penetration by militants to uncover and neutralize terrorists. Now, obviously, I'm not painting everybody with a broad brush and saying just because you're from Afghanistan, you're a terrorist, okay? It's not my point, okay? I'm not one of these people that judges people just by the color of their skin or whatever. My point is, how are we vetting people? That has yet to come out. We're hearing all the stories from the White House of, we've got to get everybody out. We've got to get everybody out. Okay? My question then is, got them out. We got them to Qatar. Why do we have to bring them further? Okay? Again, if you look at the international laws on political asylum, which is what this is, okay? They are escaping a political issue, so they are looking for political asylum. When you're escaping political asylum, the international law says the first country you arrive to after fleeing your country is where you seek asylum. Now, if everybody was flown out of Afghanistan into Qatar, they should be seeking political asylum in Qatar. Now, my other question is this. What is wrong with these people resettling in, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Qatar, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, anyway? I mean, there are many, many, many countries around Afghanistan that have a similar lifestyle that these people are used to. Imagine what is going through some of these people's heads that are being dropped into this community college outside of Dulles Airport right now, okay? They have now been dropped into a large metropolitan area, okay, basically the DC metro area. Can you imagine the look on their face when they get out and see? I mean, talk about completely out of your element. You have never seen anything that resembles that. I mean, even if you say Kabul was a city, comparatively to Washington, D.C., nope. Okay? This is like taking any of us and sending us to Mars. Now, how are these people vetted? I mean, if we had 16,000 come over on Monday, or was something like that, I take it back, it was 1,300, that was what it was, it's 1,300 people. How long is it going to take to vet 1,300 people? It took over a year with me sending all documentation and everything like that to vet Mrs. P to come to the United States. That's to vet one person, okay? Now, obviously, Homeland Security and everything like that, immigration and naturalization, has a lot more than just one person at a time to do it. But how long does it take to vet somebody? What are we doing with these people in the meantime? Are we going to keep them in this community college for a year or two? How many more are coming today? 1,300 a day? I mean, is that what we're looking at? How does this get paid for? If they all came with just the clothing on their back, we need to house them, feed them, medical care, whatever would be. This starts to get extremely expensive. Okay? Nobody's sponsoring any of these people except for the U.S. government, which basically means you and I are sponsoring them with our tax dollars because, we don't have any other use for our tax dollars right now. But this is the point. You have Putin, okay, as according to Democrats, the arch enemy of the world, is thinking where Biden isn't. No, they're not letting all these refugees in. Why? Because there's too much of a risk of a terroristic attack. Please tell me what is going to happen. The people that are coming over, okay, and again, I'm not painting with a broad brush here, but if they believe in marriage to children, they don't believe in women's rights, whatever would be. Some do, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that are coming over, women in college, everything like that. All right, but there's going to be some that do not. What happens when this all blows up? What happens when the first person that makes it through all our screening and we send them out into the United States to go have your life? What happens when it's strap a bomb to my chest and because somebody pissed me off? What happens when it's, gee, there's a little girl walking home from school and I'm horny? What's going to be the response then? Again, I'm not painting with a broad brush and saying this is everybody, but all it takes is one. One bad apple spoils the bunch. Whose responsibility is it to make sure that we don't have that bad apple come in? What are they doing? We, the American citizens, Joe, the people that have a right to be here, have a right to know what exactly you are doing to keep us safe. Because I can see other countries around the world doing what they can to keep their people safe. And all I see is you continually putting Americans at risk, having no respect whatsoever for our way of life or for our safety. Pinball out.